Healthcare workers rally in the South Bay over a decision to shut down the maternity ward at Scripps Mercy Chula Vista. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8's Richard Allen is live outside Chula Vista City Hall tonight, where the march ended, but the protest isn't over. Richard.
Well, Carlo and Marcella, that's right. Dozens of healthcare workers and community members gathered at Scripps Mercy Chula Vista. They marched here to City Hall, where they're inside right now raising their concerns about this consolidation, as it's called. The maternity ward at Scripps Mercy Chula Vista consolidating with Scripps Mercy San Diego in Hillcrest. And you can see them as they take to the streets, marching here to City Hall just a short while ago. Now, Scripps announced this decision to consolidate last week, saying this move will help meet the rising number of ER patients here, while also pointing out that its number of maternity ward patients has been declining. But some nurses, doctors, and other healthcare workers are sounding the alarm, pointing out that Scripps Mercy Chula Vista predominantly serves low-income mothers who often rely on public transportation to make it to their doctor's appointments. Now, they say moving the maternity ward to Hillcrest, about 14 miles away, will make it more difficult to access their health care and could even pose dangers to expectant mothers experiencing high-risk pregnancies. Now, for its part, Scripps Mercy Chula Vista says it will still deliver babies in emergency situations, adding that Scripps is committed to maintaining safe, high-quality emergency obstetric services at Scripps Mercy Hospital in Chula Vista, now and after the consolidation with Scripps Mercy San Diego. But these protesters here are not buying that. They say Scripps has a moral obligation to keep its maternity ward open here in the South Bay.
The public deserves our perspective, and the people of South County need to be heard. So we're the voice for the voiceless, and some of our patients are afraid to speak up. People are afraid to speak on camera. So we're just going to do what we can to be their voice.
And they say they will keep on speaking out. Now, this consolidation is expected to take place sometime this summer, at the earliest in mid to late June. But once that happens, South Bay will have only one remaining maternity ward, and that will be at Sharp Chula Vista. Carlo and Marcella.
Thanks so much, Richard. The man accused of killing a veterinarian at his animal clinic in Rolando is set to be released in April. Patrick OBrien has been in jail since 2022. OBrien admitted to breaking into Dr. Clark Kelly's vet clinic back then. Kelly died of a heart attack when he spotted OBrien. The medical examiner's office classified his death as a homicide, saying he would not have died if he had not been under the stress from the break-in. Under a deal, OBrien pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter. A judge sentenced him today to 4 years in custody, but with time served, he will be released into mandatory supervision with GPS tracking. The owner of the website Girls Do Porn has made his first San Diego federal court appearance and pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking charges after being extradited from Spain. Michael Pratt was first charged back in 2019 and was an international fugitive until his arrest back in December. This comes after the website's operator and cameraman Matthew Wolf was also sentenced today to 14 years in prison. Wolf pleaded guilty to sex trafficking charges along with 3 of his co-defendants. Prosecutors say they tricked hundreds of women and at least 1 minor to appear in pornographic videos. Most of the videos were made here in San Diego. New tonight at Mission Beach, a situation we are monitoring right now. A viewer sent us this video of what appears to be a gray whale that he says appeared to be stuck near the jetty at Mission Beach. This video was shot just a few hours ago. So far, we don't have any more information, but we are following the situation and will bring you any new developments here or on our online platforms.
The battle is heating up over an effort to replace SDGE in the city of San Diego with a nonprofit power company. Power San Diego says it could cost $3.5 billion to buy out SDGE, but as CBS 8's David Goffson reports, SDGE says taking over the grid would actually cost the city of San Diego more than 3 times that amount, well over $10 billion.
I really wanted to sign this.
Business was brisk in front of the Costco store in Bayho Tuesday as volunteers encouraged people to sign the petition to fire SDGE.
Yeah, man, the electric rates are just ridiculous. They keep going up, and I don't know who's getting all the money, but it's a big ripoff.
The petition would force a ballot initiative to establish a nonprofit power company in the city of San Diego.
We're paying the highest or nearly the highest rates in the nation.
Bill Powers is the chairman of Power San Diego, which launched the petition drive. His group estimates the buyout of SDG&E would cost the city $3.5 billion, and even with that upfront cost, customers' bills would still go down about 20%.
The electric side of SDG&E's business, their gross profit is approximately 20% a year. And this will be a nonprofit, not-for-profit municipal entity. Right off the top will eliminate 20% of the costs and charges that SDG&E is currently collecting.
SDG&E is funding a political action committee called Responsible Energy San Diego, aimed at killing the petition drive. The PAC posted a new study recently that claimed the buyout would cost much more, between $11 and $13 billion. A spokesperson emailed me a statement from Jerry Sanders, CEO of the San Diego Chamber of Commerce, saying in part, Power San Diego's proposed government takeover of San Diego's energy grid will negatively impact the city of San Diego's finances and priorities, and will likely mean higher electric rates for San Diego businesses. Power San Diego says their cost estimates come from various reports paid for by the city of San Diego, while the Responsible Energy San Diego PAC report was paid for by SDG&E. Voters may have the final word.
Fire SDG. Throw the bombs out. Thanks, man.
Power San Diego says they have about 15,000 signatures so far. They're going to need 80,000 by May to qualify for the November ballot. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. The San Elijo Lagoon is recovering after recent winter storms. Those storms filled the lagoon's inlet with sand and sediment, forcing it to close. Now, heavy machinery is scooping up that debris and moving it so tides can flow in and out of the lagoon and clean it out. This is an annual project to maintain water quality in the lagoon.
New tonight, a Claremont man is worried about erosion of a hillside right behind his home.
Comes just days after we reported on a landslide about a mile away. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is working for you tonight and explores how SDG&E is connected to this recent action.
That erosion is located just feet from this fence. It's on an easement owned by SDG&E, and while it looks relatively small, the homeowner is concerned it could grow bigger and put his property at risk.
It's very concerning.
Dwayne has lived in his Claremont home for more than 35 years. He's never had any erosion issues until this past winter following some heavy rainstorms.
It was on the 22nd, I looked over the fence and there was this big ravine slide that happened right below the palm tree.
Dwayne's fence backs up to Tecolote Canyon, specifically an easement owned by SDG&E, which has high power lines here. He reported what he thought was a small landslide to them and says while they sent someone out immediately and told him they'd be following up, he's heard nothing since.
I'd like to see somebody come back here and at least take a look at it. But so far, nobody has responded. Nobody's called, nothing.
New growth over the past few weeks has covered up part of the area. Dwayne says it's what you can't see that concerns him most.
It's not only long, but it's deep.
He's worried the problem could grow and take out his back fence, like what happened to one of his neighbors who lost his fence recently just 4 blocks away off of Boyd Avenue. We flew our drone over it to show just how big that problem is. Last week, we highlighted a landslide off of Claremont Drive, causing even greater concern for Dwayne.
Thank you, Shannon, for bringing this to our attention. We appreciate your segment on working for you. This is a perfect opportunity for San Diego Gas and Electric to partner with CBS 8 to put some minds at ease.
Anthony Wagner is a spokesperson for SDG&E. After I reached out to him, he and a team of engineers came out to survey the property.
I don't see any sort of a cracking.
Wagner says at this point there's no threat to Dwayne's home, but that SDG&E will continue to monitor the situation.
This is not a landslide. This is very purposefully from water erosion, normally from some of our large deluge from a storm. And there's a good chance that all of the gopher holes that are at the top of that are responsible for the localized erosion in that area.
Dwayne is glad the problem is finally being addressed, saying he'd rather something be done now before it's too late.
If we get the rains like we've had in January and February, it could be pretty rough.
Working for you, I'm Shanna Handy for CBS 8.
Thanks, Shannon. Here at CBS 8, we want to help solve problems affecting you and your community. If there's an issue you'd like us to look into, just shoot us an email, workingforyou@cbs8.com.
San Diegans will soon be able to visit a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in El Cajon.
A truck carrying the replica, also known as the Wall That Heals, arrived today. It is a 3/4 scale model of the memorial in D.C. Organizers say they hope our community will benefit from the memorial.
I hope it's going to result in a lot of healing. I hope it's going to result in a lot of stories being told, a lot of communication. Ultimately, we made a promise to Vietnam veterans after learning a very difficult lesson, after treating them poorly when they got home. And this is one way that we can keep that promise to them, to never forget what they did over there.
About 50 people are going to assemble the 300-foot wall tomorrow, and the people behind the exhibit are still looking for volunteers as well as donations. You can find a link on our help button at cbs8.com. You can visit starting at 10 a.m. on Thursday at Wells Park, and it will be open all the way 24/7 until Sunday afternoon. Just a moving memorial, and a lot of people who can't get out to Washington, D.C., it's an opportunity for them to see an actual replica.
Yeah, forget the scale, but it's a large replica, and it really is moving. People say it's transformational.
About 75%, but again, they still need volunteers, so head out and help if you can.
Donations, too.